Hello, everyone. My name is Jay, and a big warm welcome to you. This is Conversations on Purpose for the Global Coaching Academy. Today, we are speaking to Miss Belinda McCawley, who is a graduate of our year-long diploma. She's also the founder of Mindful in Nature, has a real passion for protecting the environment, but also working with nature, working with the environment to help with healing. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with her. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the other side. Alrighty, big warm welcome to Miss Belinda. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jay. Nice to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to the conversation, really, to find out a bit more about you and your business and GCA. I started within the intro, Belinda, by saying that my understanding is that you have a real passion for nature and for protecting the environment, but also working with nature for healing as well. Let's just start there. Did you want to tell us a bit about mindful, is it mindful in nature?
Yeah, mindful in nature. And I guess it evolved through my own personal journey, and it really goes back to when I was a child, or really when I was a teenager. And we used to go out into the forest collecting wood, and this was with my family. And it was during those times when I was out in the forest that I would just really spend time being. So I'd just sit by a creek, or I'd just sort of watch the world go by in the forest. And it was really therapeutic for me as a teenager. And I always remember the feeling that I had when I was in nature. And so, fast forward a few years, I decided to study environmental science at uni, because nature, I felt like, had given me so much, had been so healing for me, that I wanted to somehow give back. And so I went on to study to be an environmental practitioner, and I've done that for the last 20 years. But about 7 years ago, I went through a really quite a stressful time in my life, and a turning point, you would call it. And it was that time that I turned to mindfulness to help me with my to help me manage my levels of stress. And it was so transformational for me that I felt like, if it could help somebody like me, who I thought I was probably the most stressed person on the planet, maybe I could help other people. And so I was inspired to learn how to teach meditation, and I became a meditation facilitator. I did my training with Patty McBain. And after I did my training, I started, all these threads of my life started to weave together, and my love of nature, and this deep sort of knowing and this deep feeling about the therapeutic benefits of nature and mindfulness. I thought, wow. Imagine combine these two. And so Mindful in Nature was born. And
so good.
Yeah, that's really where it's come from, and it continues to evolve as I evolve and my own journey evolves. So that's a bit about the origins.
Nice one, Belinda. That's really nice to hear. And I feel so important when I was looking at your website, just so important in this day and age where there is a lot of stress out there. And we speak a lot about on this show about the disconnection that's out there, where people are really getting bogged down with the 9 to 5, and there is this absence of connecting with nature, and just how therapeutic, like you said, that can be. And just it feels just so important having things like this in this day and age, where there's just been such a spike of depression and anxiety. And I feel a lot of that is related to not having a look around and connecting with the environment and nature, because of course these things are built out of nature as well. So we are innately connected and a part of this beautiful planet and nature itself.
Yeah, great point. And just that little reminder, and I love the way you sort of embraced yourself there. We are nature, and
Yeah.
the simple act of breathing is us connecting with nature. So when we notice our breath, it's a beautiful exchange with the trees. And if we tune into that moment, just for a few brief seconds, in times of stress or overwhelm, we can feel that connection with nature.
Yeah, so helpful. Absolutely. And yeah, again, it can be easy to forget that and get lost in it all and in the world. So wonderful. Sounds like a wonderful service, and I'll put all those details in the description for people if they want to know more and connect with Belinda with that service that she is providing. Now, you mentioned about a stressful time in your life 7 years ago. I love hearing about people's trials and tribulations and how they've overcome those things, Belinda. And it sounds like the mindfulness helped you, and also nature has always been there. Is there a specific time? Was it that time 7 years ago that has been a real low point and a make or break time for you? And how has that shaped you into the person you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the biggest turning point, that I was really, that changed me and transformed me, into who I am today and what I am today and the work I do. And that point was really, and I would say, Jay, that I actually had lost my way. I was completely disconnected with nature. And, I was just, I was just going through the motions of daily life. I was working in a corporate role. I had a family. I had all of these responsibilities. But then this thing happened in my life where a family member became sick from from cancer, and it really turned my life upside down because I wanted to be a support role for my family, but I was not coping with with life.
Mm.
Just for myself, as it was.
Yeah.
And so this whole experience really brought up for me, wow, you're not coping. Like, what is it? What do I need to do? And I reached out for help. So I first went and saw Jenny, who's a Bowen therapist, and Jenny supported me with Bowen therapy and energetic hygiene. And that was really the beginning for me. And then I moved into mindfulness with Patty. So yeah, it was the crisis, it was the turning point, it was the rock bottom. Like, how can I help my family through this time of, you know, experiencing this horrible diagnosis and a long journey of cancer treatment if I'm not even able to help myself? And that's when I really wanted to make some changes.
Yeah, so important there what you've shared with a lot of people there. They deplete themselves so much and they give so much, and there's no room for themselves. And of course, then it's hard to help anyone else when we've done that for a period of time, and it's just like we've got nothing left and we get really run down. So I'm interested to know a little bit more about that, Belinda. Like, what are some of the techniques or ways or states of being, qualities that really did help you through that time? You mentioned the energetic hygiene, which is a part of the course. What's some other things that really helped you move through those difficult times?
Yeah, for me, it was having a support network in terms of going to seek support from other professionals. And in the beginning, it was Bowen therapy and energetic hygiene, but then it was mindfulness. And so, I sought out support from Patty. I was actually her yoga student for a while, but I started going to classes, one-on-one mentoring classes with Patty, so I could
Yep.
learn how to practice mindfulness, because mindfulness is not easy, and mindfulness takes practice. And there are apps out there that people are encouraged to use, but for me, it was actually having somebody to walk alongside me in this
Mm.
journey, to support me, and you know keep me motivated. But genuinely, these people had a deep care about what they did, and then that was able to sort of help me keep going, keep going, keep going. So I think initially it was turning to mindfulness, but it was also having a person there to mentor me along the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And was that how the journey with mentoring and coaching with the Global Coaching Academy was born, by your experience of working with a mentor?
Well, yes and no. Well, I'd say yes, because I had connected with many people from GCA, Paddy, and then I had connected with Jane. So I'd been, um, connected uh, through a few people, and I saw this coaching and mentoring program, and I think I actually had looked at for about a couple of years, and I had tried what the year before I actually joined. I felt I was ready, but a few things popped up, and it wasn't quite the right timing. And so then the following year I joined. So yeah, I had sort of been watching for a couple of years, and I suppose it really uh, it really kind of grounded in me that I wanted this, and this was part of my next stage once I had started my business, because I
Mhm.
really saw it as a way to layer my own skills, but I was also ready for this also deeper personal development at that stage as well.
So you already had Mindful in Nature started when the coaching course came along?
Yes, so I'd done a few courses. I had done Patty's mindfulness facilitation course. So I was facilitating mindfulness in sort of community settings, and then I did my forest therapy guide training. So I had done a couple of pieces of training, and Mindful in Nature was already born. And so for me, it was about bringing another layer and a deeper understanding of self. And because I was working with people, I wanted to be able to bring a deeper experience for them as well.
Sure. And it sounds like you connected with a few people from GCA, which you shared. And I'm wondering, because there's a million coaching courses out there. So was there a particular point of difference or something that drew you particularly to this course? Because it's not for everyone.
Well, I didn't know there was lots of other coaching courses out there,
Oh.
really, because in my mind there was kind of only one pathway for me, and for me this was not just about. In fact, I didn't I didn't necessarily want to be a coach or a mentor. I just had this sort of this desire to have a desire for my own personal development, and to get to know myself a bit more, but so there was not really ever an intention to be a coach or a mentor. What motivated me mostly was the personal development, and even all through the course I could not see myself being a coach or a mentor. And I mean, I guess even now I kind of have weaved it into my practice, and I explore different ways of coaching and mentoring. But the point of difference, I think, for me was the people. I'd already been connected with the people, some of the people who were the mentors in the program, and so for me, it just felt like a natural step for me.
It's interesting hearing you say you didn't want to be, you couldn't see yourself as a mentor and coach, because we share that a lot with people. Yeah, it's a mentoring and coaching diploma, yet a lot of people just do it for the introspection and the personal growth, because we go so deep, and it really is this journey of self-discovery. And bonus, if you want to step into coaching and mentoring as an actual career, you can as well. So yeah, nice one.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the greatest gift from the course for me is, regardless of whether I'm coaching others or not, it's given me the skills to coach myself. And this has been, I think it's been a couple of years since I finished the course, but I'm often tapping into my coaching skills for self, and self coaching has been such a profound opportunity for me to, discover things about myself.
Well, and on that then, Miss Belinda, what was the biggest thing that you gained from the course, if there's one thing?
Oh, I'd probably have to say there's so many things. I mean, personally, it's given me the skills and the tools to understand myself deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the greatest thing. Self-awareness. And this self-awareness has given me, or allowed me to, or helped me build healthier and more intentional relationships. And that's just for in my own personal life, but also with nature. And
Yeah.
it's helped me. Um, it's also helped me professionally. It's given me the confidence and credibility as a guide and a coach in the work I do, and that also helps me to support others in grounding and meaningful ways. And that's what this layering I talked about before. That's what that meant to me. It really gives me this professional. I call it a layer on top of the other things I do. Um,
Yeah.
but I would also say spiritually, I talked about I'd already done the mindfulness course and I'd already done the forest therapy guide training. But spiritually, it really helped me connect to something greater than myself. And although I'd already known that nature was so therapeutic for me, it gave me a sense of purpose and a place and a belonging in this world. And that's probably that's shaped me into who I am today.
As you're sharing there, I was just like, oh, it feels like you had all this stuff in place, which was born out of that, that low point in your life. And then there was like maybe this little piece here kind of slotted in and helped merge all that and grow, grow you personally, professionally, and the business as well.
Yeah, I love that. It's like there was like all these little pieces, and then there was like this coming together. And I'd also say this as I've evolved, or as I evolve, I think there'll also be little bits of the jigsaw that will come into this, but it forms this great part of who I am and what I offer.
Yeah, of course, and when we're out of the way and we're in tune and really following that, then that's when the synchronicities happen most often, in my experience anyway. When we really are like, oh, out of the way, and how can I better myself? And also, I feel with that, Belinda, is how can I best serve? How can I give back? If we have that, if that's a desire to make the world a better place and to serve and give back, which you already shared, I think somewhere, then where I find that life gets behind us. Then life gets behind those people that do want to just give back and make the place better in whatever way they can.
Yeah, and this giving back is like a deeper sense of purpose. And this is quite often people will ask, or I will reflect, and I've always I set this right from the beginning. What does success mean to me? And I'm talking specifically in business. And success in business has always meant one thing. It's that this work still brings me joy when I'm sharing it. And
Ah,
this for me is the sense of purpose. Success is not about money. Success is not about numbers.
mm.
Success is about joy in sharing. And that comes back to my greater purpose. I regularly revisit what is my meaning of success because it helps keep me stay on track. So yeah, this sense of purpose and giving back.
I love that. And it sounds like you really know you're really in touch with your purpose, Belinda. And wonderful, of course, to reconnect with that and explore that as we evolve. Yeah, I can just feel you in your sharing there. You're quite clear on what success is and what your purpose is with that, which is lovely. And that gives direction. People that don't have that, they lack the direction and kind of don't know where they're heading.
Yeah, and look, I have to be really honest. I sway sometimes, Jay. Like I go off track occasionally, and it's the coaching skills and the tools that I learned through my coaching program that have helped me come back on track. Because it's this constant sort of self-reflection, self-awareness. What am I doing this for? Is this part of my greater purpose? And when I ask myself that question, I'll often revisit what's my meaning of success here. So yeah, it's and often we get led astray, or there's these things that are trying to pull us away from our purpose. But I feel like the tools that I have learned through GCA really help me come back and stay aligned to that.
Yeah, and so important, and it comes back to what we were talking about at the start about the disconnection and how easy it is to get distracted. So wonderful to have those tools on board that can keep us focused, keep us in our alignment, and reminding ourselves what is actually important to us. Because how often do people, myself included, 10 years goes by and it's like, "Hey, that's not what I intended to do. What just happened there?" So yeah, for me, these skills and these tools and talking to people like yourself who've gone through the course, that is often a key piece, having those tools to get in touch with who we really are, and then also the resources and tools again to really to stay connected with that ongoing in a busy world when we can lose ourselves if we're not onto it.
Yeah, and I'd love to share a little something about that. Just of late, actually, I was really stuck with this situation that I was going through, and I just kind of couldn't find clarity in what was happening, and I knew it didn't feel right, but I couldn't find my sort of way out of this situation. And so I also have coaching, and so I have a coach, and I regularly connect with my coach and get help when I get in these, stuck in these situations, or I feel like I've gone off track. And in my recent scenario, I discovered this. I'd become off track because I had this feeling of not enoughness, and because I didn't feel enough, I was trying to grasp all these other things, and so yeah, it's having this self-awareness of, hey, this doesn't feel right, or hey, this is a little bit this is a place where I feel a little bit stuck. Reaching out to my own coach and getting the support to actually have the clarity to move through
Mm.
those situations. And that's what I love about coaching. It's really for me, it brings a lot of clarity when I'm sort of sort of suffocating with the noise.
Yeah. I hear you with that, and speak a little bit more on that, on your experience with that, Belinda, about having a coach and how that has changed your life and how you operate. For people out there who are considering it, because some people just, what is coaching about? There's confusion about that. So nice to bring awareness around what coaching is and your personal experience with how that's helped you having a one-on-one coach.
Yeah, I've used it in a few different scenarios. So the scenario I was talking about just before was sort of a once-off. I'd felt uneasy, or didn't feel like something was right, but couldn't quite find my way out of that. Um, but the other example of recent, I facilitate retreats, and so I had this retreat planned. It was a 5-day retreat, and it means a lot to me. I really want to show up and give people an experience that they value. And so I actually had coaching for about 2 to 3 months prior to this retreat, and
Mm.
really what this was about was supporting myself to support others, because when I can show up as my best self, then I'm in a much better position to support others. And what I would say out of that whole experience is that that the coaching that led up to that retreat really helped me deliver and be and share what I wanted to share from my heart in those 5 days. And on the other side of the retreat, I was able to sit back and reflect and do my review of how things went. And I sat back and went, wow, that experience brought me a lot of joy.
Ha.
Joy is my measure of success.
So you're on track.
So it was just a wonderful way to support myself in being able to show up in that scenario.
So beautiful and nice for anyone watching this who may be considering working with you, Belinda, to hear just how important that is to bring value. And then you're not just thinking about that, you're actually taking action and working to bring your best self to your clients, which is just, that's beautiful there. A lot of care, just feels like a lot of care for the people that are coming and working with you.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
And I'm curious as well, with those retreats and with the work that you're doing there, what are well, who are the sort of people that are coming to you for that? And if you felt to share also on what are some of the common difficulties that they're facing, and what's their intention of coming to these events that you provide?
Yeah, and it's a good question. I think we've already probably touched on the biggest one. It's this disconnect. And mostly that's what people are coming for, is this connection with themselves, connection with others, but also this connection with nature. So they're coming because they want some clarity. They're coming because they want some space away from all the noise. So I mean, people come to retreats or come to experiences for lots of different reasons, but it's probably those key things:
Mm.
disconnect, clarity, and people are looking for some peacefulness, and that's that's the noise, I think, that brings that. Yeah, so I forgot what your second part of the question was. Sorry, Jay.
I was just so intent listening on what you were saying there. Is yeah, basically why people are coming to you. And basically that was the question, really. What's the main thing that they're coming to you for?
Yeah, that connection with self, connection with others, and connection with nature. And yeah, that's probably the key ones.
And nice to have that facilitated, because I mean, there's one thing to go out and, yeah, and to connect ourselves in nature, and maybe you teach how in those retreats how you can do that in a more mindful way, or a deeper way. Yeah, it just feels like a wonderful service there that you're facilitating people while they're out there, in nature, how they can connect with themselves and in a deeper
Yeah, and
way.
the
Yeah.
biggest thing is the guiding and the mentoring. The what I share is really about slowing down,
Mm.
and that is probably a key point of what I offer and what I teach, is how to slow down. Because when we slow down, that's when we listen more, we can feel more, and we can start to see a little bit of clarity. So it's the slowing down that really supports people to discover what's in there for themselves.
Yes, here's to more of that, my friend. Here's to more of that slowing down and being present and with ourselves and our environment. Absolutely. So just a couple more things, Belinda. I'm wondering, you've touched on this already a little bit, but I'm just wondering if you've got three qualities that you feel are important to successful living, or to living a fulfilling life. Three qualities that have helped you and you feel that are important for a fulfilling life.
Yeah, I think we've already touched on belonging a bit, but belonging is something for me. And whether it's a group of people, whether it's nature, just having this sense of connection to people and place and purpose. And we've talked about
Yeah.
purpose. Having this connection to purpose gives me a great sense of belonging. And I feel like that is, just such a great value to have. And belonging gives us roots and resilience. It's a place to come home to, or come back to, or revisit. And for me, it has also helped me with courage and authenticity, because this belonging to part of something greater than yourselves really allows you to come from or be in this authentic space.
Mm.
And I guess the other one is compassion. I would say for a long time, I didn't know compassion. I knew it as a concept in my head. I knew what it meant. I understand the concept, but for a long time, I could not feel compassion. And I would say that through my own personal journey, that I can now feel compassion, and I can now link the mental concept of compassion to the deep feeling of compassion, and that has really transformed my life. And even people I have known for many years actually would say that I can remember when I started feeling compassion and they started noticing that I had changed. And so this is the ability to just be kind towards others and yourself. And for me, it was the kindness towards myself, and that was probably the greatest challenge. I now have learned how to be kind towards myself, and just as I shared before, people close to me could see that I had changed, and so this really fostered a greater connection with people around me, and deepened my relationships with these people. The other quality I would say would be curiosity, a willingness to keep learning, but also be okay with not knowing. I think that's also the great thing about curiosity. It helps to grow and explore both sort of this inner and outer world. And curiosity is something I tune into a lot when I'm out in nature. And I'm always reminded of a child. Children are just innately curious. And if you ever want to learn how to slow down, just follow a little child for a while.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, absolutely. I love all of those qualities, and wonderful, wonderful if we can bring more of that absolutely into the world. And where are you at now then with your healing journey?
Always evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually just moved from Perth to the southwest. So I've
Lovely.
gone through quite a transition in my life. And so I'm drawing on a lot of those tools that I've learned throughout my journey and revisiting those to discover, what might be next, because transition and change can bring up lots of different experiences, emotions and feelings. And I would say that, I shared before that I had a coach in a particular sticky situation. So yeah, I'm at times I'm feeling unsettled and unstuck, but I just reach out to those coaches and supports that I know will help me along my journey.
Brilliant, Belinda. Is there anything else you want to share about your journey, or to anyone out there that's watching this, maybe considering moving into working as a coach or with the course? Is there just anything you'd like to share about? Is there anything more you'd like to share?
Oh, just that it's so valuable in self-discovery. If I could say anything about that, it's discovering parts of yourself, and the transformation that can come with that I feel there is so much value in.
Awesome, my friend. Thank you very much. I like to wrap up with a favorite quote. Have you got a favorite quote that you could share with us?
I have a favorite quote that I could share with you, and I feel like it probably sums up a few components of our discussion today. My favorite quote is a Zen proverb, and it says, "You should sit with nature for 20 minutes per day. Unless you're busy, you should sit for an hour."
I love that. Yeah. If you're busy, then you need more time there.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
good.
interestingly, just a little bit of evidence, research. The research actually shows that people get most benefit from slowing down and connecting in nature. So this is talking to my forest therapy work. People actually get most benefit that are highly stressed. The people that are most stressed actually experience the greater benefit, because they've got such a greater variance to come down to reducing those cortisol levels. So I think that speaks to that. When we're busy, when we're the busiest we are in our lives, that's when we really need to tune into, hey, I need some time to slow down.
Yes, agreed. And that's often the time that we don't think about it because we are so
Yeah.
stressed. It's often the time that we don't lean into our support. We don't connect because we are just like this. So yeah, absolutely. They are the times we most need it. And also with that, that's why it is so important to have a network of really supportive people around who can see if you're heading down that track and can call you on it and can support you in that way. Really helpful, because we've all got blind spots and not often can we see things that are starkly obvious to others.
Yeah, I have. I live with my husband, and often he will be the gentle reminder when I'm losing it or I'm highly strung or something's going on. He'll just say to me, "You need to go out into nature," and that's when I know I must go for a walk.
Hubby speaks. All right, get to nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Lots of love, Miss Belinda. Really glad to have had this conversation today, and sounds like you're doing amazing work out there. Like I said at the start, I'll put all Belinda's details in the description. So if you want to know more about her forest retreats and working with her, you can get in touch. Thanks for being here, Belinda.
Thanks for having me. Great to see you, Jay.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Conversations on Purpose, and we'll see you on the next one.